Thermostat mindset I taught to Fortune 1000 leaders. Before we start, if you want to level up your leadership, hit subscribe and turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. So let me ask you a question. Are you the kind of leader who sets the tone, or do you just reflect the chaos around you? So most leaders I work with, even at the top companies, act like thermometers. They just read and react to the energy in the room, the stress, the low morale, the drama. But the best leaders, they learn to become the thermostat. And today I'm going to show you how. This is a practical mindset shift I've taught executives to help them transform their teams from stuck and reactive to innovate and unstoppable. It always starts by understanding the difference between just reading the room and actually setting the room. Have you ever walked into a meeting where the energy just gets sucked out of the room? You can feel the tension and the blame. That's the world of thermometer leader. They walk in, match the cold, negative environment, and accidentally become part of the problem. So I have the experience of coaching several business owners in different industries, and they spent days putting out fires and watching their best people leave. They usually say to me, I feel like a mirror. If my team is anxious, I'm anxious. Just absorb all the chaos. They were perfect thermometer and it was burning them out. This is a huge issue. Gallup found that managers are responsible for up to 70% of a team's engagement. When leaders act thermometers, they let that disengagement run wild. Innovation dies because no one feels safe enough to take a risk, and performance flatlines. This is where good leaders get trapped just reacting, and it's a fast track to failure. So, this is the revelation, becoming the thermostat. That's the framework I want to teach. The light bulb moment for my clients was when I introduced them the thermostat mindset. And that's what I did yesterday with this team from financial services, part of the Fortune 1000. The thermostat mindset. The difference is simple but profound. A thermometer is passive. It just tells you the temperature. A thermostat is active. It sets the temperature. It has a goal and it works to create that environment. When you adopt the thermostat mindset, you stop reacting to your environment and start creating it. You decide the temperature of your team's culture, of your organization culture. Do you want trust? Do you want accountability? Do you want innovation? You are the one who sets that dial. Research highlights that psychological safety is the most important factor for an effective team. Psychological safety is simply the belief that you won't be punished for speaking up with ideas, questions, or mistakes. As a thermostat leader, creating this environment is your number one job. And here I want to pause a little bit to give you my example. So I remember when I was younger, working as an architect, I went to work in a company, architectural firm, very big in town, was very famous, that kind of famous architect, and they are from the high level people. But the environment was terrible. So the culture of the place was so bad that when I tried to give my ideas to bring a solution to a problem, the owner, my boss, he told me, I've never had anybody here asking me for feedback, asking me of what I think about their work, or giving me solutions. I am the one who brings bring solution. In my mindset, I was growing up like with my father being a construction company owner, always teaching us to think about the solution. What is the solution? What is the solution? Never focus on the problem, but focus on the solution. And this is the way I ran my business, and I still running my business. Everywhere I went to work on, the companies, the corporate, and even this architectural firm was always with this mindset of being the leader, setting the temperature, seek for solutions, don't focus on the problem. And that was the way I went to this firm, and my boss didn't like. He didn't like this way. So after this meeting that he decided to do because of my requests of feedback, because we were, guys, the whole team, the architectural team, we were around 8 to 10 people. He was only bringing criticism to us to the point that administrator, I'm not lying, I started to gain weight. Was when I started to gain weight that I found out about the thyroidism. She beat my belly so strong that I lost my breath. So this was the kind of environment. And he made this feedback meeting, and after that he fired me. It was like 2 days later, it was my birthday. This was 2006. And then I think less than 5 months, 6 months later, I did an interview to another company. They couldn't hire me because I was high level for them. They couldn't pay my salary. But then a couple of months later, they called me back to be the coordinator, to be the manager of the company. So I was acting as a COO of the business, a small engineering firm. And I took that firm from very small firm with 3 architects and 1 engineer to a great team of 6 architects and many interns, to the point that the owner sold the company to us and allowed us to build our own company. That's the experience of being a leader and setting the temperature and being a thermostat and not a thermometer. Because when you are a thermostat, there is a firm that's going to see your value. If you're an executive, I'm talking to you. If you are the business owner, you are the one to set the temperature in your firm, in your company, to build this culture. So how do you make the switch? It comes down to 3 intentional daily habits. And you need to change the habits, guys, because the bad habits is going to lead to bad culture. Set your internal dial before you can change the temperature of the room. You have to control your own. Thermometer leaders are at the mercy of their emotions. Thermostat leaders, on the other hand, consciously set their own internal state. First, you start every day with intention. Before you check your email, take 5 minutes, ask yourself, what temperature do I want to set for my team today, for my day today? How do I want to show up? This is your moment to define the energy you bring to every interaction. Second, practice active emotional intelligence. This isn't just about knowing you're frustrated, it's about understanding how that frustration will affect others. I always teach all my clients, and always talking to myself and to my husband, 10% is what happens to you, 90% is what you do with what happened to you. So the frustration will come when something doesn't go right your way. So how is going to be your reaction towards that is going to be thermostat or thermometer. So you have the capability, and I hope the skills, and we are talking here of soft skills, to set the temperature, the reaction of that situation that happened. Are you going to react, or are you going to analyze emotions and act in the right way, setting a healthy problem-solving, strategic thinking temperature? How that frustration will affect others. When you feel that spike of annoyance, a thermostat leader doesn't just vent it into the room. They pause. They ask, how will my response right now set the temperature? When you master your internal state, you become the calm in the storm. This is emotional intelligence. So broadcast the right signal. Once your internal dial is set, you have to broadcast that temperature to your team, to your company. This is all about leading by example and communicating with clarity. Leading by example is the most powerful signal you can send. Your team is always watching. They don't care about the values written on the wall. They watch your behavior to see what really matters. If you want a culture of accountability, be the first to own your mistakes. You can't demand a focused, collaborative climate if you are personally broadcasting chaos. Next, your words have to be crystal clear. Every meeting and email is a chance to set the tone. Start your meetings by stating the purpose and the temperature you want. Is this a brainstorming session where no idea is a bad idea? Say so. Great leaders are thermostats because they are precise with their language and get everyone on the same page. Here's the third pillar of our framework: calibrate the environment. The final pillar is about actively managing the environment. A thermostat doesn't just set a temperature and walk away. It constantly monitors and makes small adjustments. You do this through engagement, recognition, and reflection. First, actively engage. Get away from your desk and check in with your people. Ask them about their challenge and ideas. I remember my father always saying that, and this is the famous manufacturer floor. This is how you find pockets of cold like confusion or pockets of heat like conflict, and address them before they take over. This is how you build trust, and trust is the key to engagement. Second, master the art of recognition. What you celebrate is what you will get more of. Make it a daily habit to recognize someone for doing the exact thing that contributes to the temperature you want. Did someone take a smart risk? Celebrate the attempt. Did the team collaborate well? Shine a spotlight on it. Reflect and learn. End each day with 5 minutes of reflection. What went well? Where did the temperature drop? What's one adjustment I can make tomorrow? I have in my Royal Fisher planner that I created, I have a section of celebration. I have a section of this daily gain. So I reflect of the day, I see the wins, and I celebrate the wins. And whenever you need to give a feedback to a person, do it in private. Celebrate in front of everybody, celebrate in public, and give a feedback in private. What's one adjustment I can make tomorrow? This daily habit is your personal calibration process, ensuring you're getting better at keeping the right temperature. This framework is a shift from being a passive bystander in your culture to being its active creator. It's the single biggest difference between leaders who get by and leaders who build a real legacy. If this idea resonates with you, hit that subscribe button because we are diving deeper into leadership frameworks like this every week. And if you're ready to go from theory to action, I've opened up a few spots for a one-on-one strategic session. We'll build a roadmap to make you the thermostat your organization needs. Click the link in the description to schedule yours. And now a question for you. What is the temperature you want to set for your team? Collaboration, accountability, innovation. Drop a comment below and declare the culture you are committing to building. Leadership isn't about grand gestures. It's about the small, intentional actions you take every day. The choice is yours. You can be a thermometer, tossed around by the daily drama and reflecting negativity, or you can be the thermostat. You can decide what your culture will be. You can set the tone and elevate the mindset of your entire team. Remember that clients I told you about? They started with just one habit. They began every meeting by sharing a positive story. It was a small, deliberate act of setting the temperature. Over time, his culture completely transformed, going from the worst performing to one of the most innovative and profitable company. So that's the power of the thermostat mindset. You are not here to reflect the culture, you are here to shape it. Now go set the temperature and schedule our meeting. See you in the next video.